In the day's other news, President Trump said that he will reach across the political aisle again, this time to help pass a tax reform plan. To that end, he invited Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, the House and Senate Democratic leaders, to dinner tonight. He also called in Republican and Democratic lawmakers this afternoon to talk about cutting business and personal income tax rates.
If we can do things in a bipartisan manner, that'll be great. Now, it might not work out, in which case we'll try and do them without, but if you look at some of the greatest legislation ever passed, it was done on a bipartisan manner. And the rich will not be gaining at all with this plan. We're looking for the middle class, and we're looking for jobs. Jobs meaning companies.
The president also voiced support for a new effort by 4 Republican senators to repeal and replace Obamacare. Meanwhile, independent Senator Bernie Sanders announced his Medicare for All plan alongside 16 Democratic co-sponsors. Neither bill is expected to come to a vote. A man who was a longtime fixture in the U.S. Senate died today. New Mexico Republican Pete Domenici had complications from abdominal surgery. Domenici served for 36 years until 2009 and became a bipartisan power broker. For much of that time, he worked with now Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I served for a number of years with Senator Domenici. I came to know him as a smart, hardworking, dedicated, and a very strong advocate for his home state of New Mexico. So, Mr. President, we're all saddened by this news today.
Pete Domenici was 85 years old. The U.S. and South Korea sent fresh signals to North Korea today to back off its nuclear and missile testing. The South's military announced that it tested a new air-launched cruise missile that can fly 300 miles and evade radar. And the New York Times reported that Seoul is assembling a so-called decapitation unit that could target Kim Jong-un in a crisis. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis said that he no longer favors phasing out the U.S. arsenal of long-range ballistic missiles. Myanmar's leader will skip this month's UN General Assembly session amid outrage over the treatment of Rohingya Muslims. Aung San Suu Kyi's office announced today that she will not attend the meeting in New York City. Some 400,000 Rohingyas have fled to Bangladesh, reporting atrocities by government troops in mostly Buddhist Myanmar. The UN Security Council condemned the violence today.
Aid activities by UN agencies and international non-governmental organizations have been severely disrupted. I call on the Myanmar authorities to suspend military action, end the violence, uphold the rule of law, and recognize the right of return of all those who had to leave the country.
Myanmar claims that it's only reacting to attacks by Rohingya insurgents. Back in this country, the Trump administration barred federal agencies from continuing to use computer software made by Kaspersky Lab. The company is Russian-owned and operated, and a federal directive cited concerns about its ties to Russian intelligence. Kaspersky denied that it's played any role in Russian cyber hacking. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 39 points to close at 22,158. The Nasdaq rose almost 6, and the S&P 500 added about 2. The big number in baseball tonight is 21, as in 21 wins in a row for the Cleveland Indians. They beat Detroit today 5-3 to break the American League record, and celebrations broke out on the field. The old New York Giants in the National League won 26 without a loss in 1916, but that streak included one tie. Congratulations to the Indians. A lot of celebrating in Cleveland. And the maestro was a machine in Pisa, Italy last night. A robot dubbed Yumi directed the Lucca Philharmonic Orchestra as part of the first International Festival of Robotics. It included a performance by world-renowned tenor Andrea Bocelli. And they can't replace him with a robot.